This is Darrell Glasper. We must save our community. We will have a monthly show on the third Friday of every month talking about the pressing issues of our community. Why should we have a show in East Baton Rouge Parish, and why should we communicate with each other? Because in our community, we have a number of issues that we face each and every day. There are policies that are being made by the legislature, by the state and federal government, and even local government. There are things that we think that we should talk about and have real talk and have, I consider, a grown-up conversation about these issues. Regardless what party affiliation that you have, what your ideologies are, we all live in the same community and we should be able to communicate. I want to focus on those issues that I think that are pertinent to the people that are in the inner cities. We have problems with our schools, school closures. We have problems with transportation. We have problems with health care related issues in the community. We also have some road, streets, drainage problems. And what are the solutions? I want to hear from you. This show is designed to give you a voice in your community. We want to talk about those pressing issues. We want to bring guests in and be able to set them down, experts. I'll give you for an example. Just today, you are dealing with a situation where in the legislature, House Bill 427 by one of the state representatives want to take what I call immediate action against your property. I think it's unconstitutional. I need to know what you think. I need to know what the community is thinking and why all of a sudden now that we have a group of individuals want to come in and help our community when our community has been very stagnant for so many years. Those are the types of things that we're going to be talking about. We'll be talking about some national issues that affect us. We'll be talking about the local issues that affect you and things that we should be talking about with our family and our friends. So I just want to say this is the inaugural show of Save Our Community. It's going to be hosted by Darrell Glasper. We also want to let you all know that for the first time in many years, we have a minority-owned, operated company that will bring you radio and TV in various parts of the state of Louisiana. I happen to be fortunate enough to have some partners who are bringing these shows to you so that you can better communicate with what you think is important to your community. So this is Darrell Glasper. I look forward to talking to you in the near future. We have to have a conversation with ourselves about our problems and then come up with solutions that we think that we can all live with, regardless of the party affiliation or where we live in this community, because of all of the policies that are implemented are going to affect both communities in one way or the other. Well, you have eminent domain. Anytime you're talking about quick take is a matter that way you have the ability to take property within 10 days instead of going through the normal process. And those processes are put in place for a particular reason. Nothing more important than home ownership and ownership of property in the community. And so when you have a bill before the legislature that will alter any of the provisions that are granted in the Constitution, I think it's unconstitutional. The bill that's before the legislature today, I think they should pull that bill. I think you should have a conversation about what we can do to help our communities move forward without having the threat of having our property taken away from us. Well, this show will be talking about a multitude of things. We'll be talking about things dealing with education, dealing with health, it'll be dealing with housing, dealing with access to capital. It will be dealing with a number of issues that are affecting our community, our children. They'll be talking about recreation. We'll be bringing in experts and sitting down and talking to them. We'll have a call-in talk show that will allow the individuals to voice their concerns and bring forth their ideas. I think it's something that's overdue. We should have had it some time ago, but like anything else, we have individuals that get to be senior citizens, and I say in our area, that have been involved in many areas that decided to move on, and there's a void. So we think that this media and the organization that we created, both radio and TV, is going to be a voice for the people, a voice for the community, and give them some input. We need to let the public know how we feel about certain issues, and that's what this communication media is going to do. We all come up with ideas as individuals. And I think that the public has a number of just great ideas on how to fix our schools and what we need to do in our community. And then it's called, in my opinion, what my grandmother said many years ago, it's called self-help. We're gonna have to start taking care of some of these issues ourselves. We're gonna have to take our community and clean up our community, make sure that our community is our home, where we live, and not where we just reside. We need neighborhoods again. We need to tackle crime. There are some other things that we need to actually do in our community, and we can do them ourselves. We don't have to rely on anybody, but we need to have a voice, and the community need to have a voice, and where your community is going, how your community should be governed, and really put the politicians, let them do their job. I'll give you, for instance, I was elected for 8 years. I tell people there was never an item on an agenda in 8 years that surprised me. I had a day where that agenda, I would go over the agenda, everything that affected the entire African American community. I knew what it was going to do. I knew what the effects was going to be, if they were going to be good or they're going to be bad. Now, that's because I had the time to do that. We have to have elected officials that are working together. I don't care what party affiliation you are, what your districts are. This is the entire community, and we should treat it as such. And that's what we're attempting to do with this show. We're going to have access for the church leaders, community organizers, community groups, organizations, businesses, professors, anyone that want to have a voice in their community on topics. We're going to invite them, because that's what we need to do. We need to have a grown-up discussion about these issues and what solutions that we have. For instance, we need to have communities back. How are we going to rebuild these communities? First of all, we got to clean them up. We have the ability to do it ourselves. We can organize. We've done it in the past. We can do it again. And that's what I want to accomplish with this communication show. We must save our community, because we have a beautiful community. We have just a number of very smart individuals. Look, we have a university that I think is one of the best universities in the world. Southern University, with its academia and with the people that's been there, and the drive that they have to educate young people. And that's what this whole show should be about. What this community should be about. It should be about the future of our community. We need to have the young people engaged, and they need to see the positive aspects and the things that are happening in this community that's very positive. It could be sports, it could be art, it could be music, it could be education, it could be community events. Where are the positive things talked about in the African American community in East Baton Rouge Parish? That's what we were attempting to do, and that's what we're going to do. Well, I think that it's going to be a combination of the things that are happening around the community, the events that are happening, showing those events in a very positive light. For many years, everything that we see on TV or that we read about, that's on radio, it's about the bad things that are happening in the African American community. Man, there are a lot of good things that are happening every day in the community. A lot of people who start businesses. We have individuals who had an educational level that would really surprise a lot of people that are coming out of these high schools. They're in engineering, they're in art, they're in music. They have a lot of capabilities. Where are they? We're going to find them, we're going to highlight them, and we're going to let you know the best things that are happening in your community that is being hidden from you because you don't have access to the media. My show will be once every month, and it'll talk about accumulation of things. I'll bring some guests on, and we'll throw around some ideas of what we think is important. But more than anything else, I think that we should have a daily talk show, a morning show, that would allow our citizens to be able to call in for different topics as they arise in our community, as they happen in our community. It could be what happened at the courthouse the other day with the fight and the ruckus, or it could be with how do we teach our children to be able to manage situations when they're put in very difficult situations. There are a lot of things that will come out of this show over a period of time, and then we're going to highlight what is going on in our government, how can our government better serve us, and then talk about all of the positive things that are happening with the different administrations, be it local government, school boards, or other municipalities or in the organization within the community. Let me get by saying this, that everybody think you rely on politicians to move your community forward. That is far from the truth. I think the trailblazers, the people who really changed the community in the past, were those community activists, community leaders. They were men, they were women. They were people that we can depend on. They always had our best interest. And I think that we have to get back to that. There are those out there, they just not brought forth or have the opportunity to voice their concern. I think that we should have a very positive discussion about the issues and not worry about what's going to happen with the negatives. I've always said that if negative happen, if you think positive things will happen, and throughout our lives, man, there are a lot of positive things that happen. Just hard people who are hard workers that work every day, that are just behind the scenes in this community, that move this community forward. But when they are pushed against the wall, I'm going to tell you something. We can be a very strong, resilient, successful community if we can start talking about those issues that affect our lives every day. This is Darrell Glasper Sr. We must save our community. It will be a monthly show, and it will be on Radio 106.1.